The stage is now set for the holding of regional council elections in the country following a decree signed by the head of state President Paul Biya stating the number of delegates as well as the categories per region. In this newscast, political actors weigh in on the decree as Elekan board members in the Littoral region meet with political actors and traditional rulers in the Vuri division to fine-tune strategies for the successful holding of the regional council elections. Also, we tell you how preparations are heating up for the repatriation of 78 Cameroonians stranded in India. It is fruit of a cooperation between the Ministry of External Relations of Cameroon as well as the Indian government. One of the representatives of the stranded Cameroonians will be telling us more in this newscast. Those are top stories. Good evening and thanks for joining us on the primetime newscast on STV. Just as we told you in the headlines, President Paul Biya has signed a decree yesterday stating the number of delegates as well as category of regional councillors per region. The decree also specifies the emoluments that will be given during the regional council elections. Our reporter Crystal Asexuele read through the decree and now brings out the highlights.
Following a presidential decree yesterday, September 2, 2020, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, sets the stage for the upcoming ever-first regional elections in Cameroon, specifying the number of regional councillors per division and per category. In his decree, he clearly states that the regional council seats will be shared evenly to all the 10 regions with 90 representatives per region. He further proclaims that during the elections, the members of the electoral colleges will be entitled to a lump sum allowance of 50,000 francs CFA that will cover the costs relating to their participation in the polls. This amount, it should be noted, shall be paid to each member of an electoral college who effectively participates in the elections via the official Election Cameroon's divisional branch. This decree clears out all worries and uneasiness of some political leaders as the numbers of the regional advisors to be provided by each of the 58 departments of Cameroon is now specified. As for the electoral date, this will be made known subject to the head of state convening the electoral corps.
Following the signing of the presidential decree stating the categories as well as the number of regional councillors across the country, political actors in the economic capital Douala say that the move is long overdue as they have been awaiting the regional council. Speaking to our reporter John Paul Sama, they say that time has come to begin the practical modalities going to the regional elections. His report.
The decree signed this Wednesday by President Paul Biya on the modalities of regional elections to some political actors in Douala is seen as a duty he has to carry out and nothing extraordinary.
It's not a surprise. It's an indication that we are going into regional election. That is the matter. That is the real matter of this law. All other problem is animation, it's political animation.
This decree also sets the number of regional councillors per division and per category.
Attendu, c'était le dernier texte qui devrait organiser.
It has been long awaited. It is the last text which organizes the modalities of how this election is going to go on, given that all the other texts are already there, and the repartition of councillors was what we were all waiting for, to see how the list of candidates is going to look like from now on. We are all engaging in the practical modalities.
Le reste, c'est les modalités pratiques qui sont du ressort d'Elections Cameroun.
Le décret qui est sorti hier est un décret dans la conduite de...
The decree of yesterday brings to light the applicability and functioning, and now we thought it was going to be better shared, but those are the prerogatives of the head of state, and we are obliged to follow.
Mais là, c'est des prérogatives du chef de l'État, il l'a fait. et on est obligé, on est tenu de suivre.
The regional council seats are shared evenly to all 10 regions with 90 representatives per region, as well as the cost relating to the participation in the polls.
Board members of the Elections Management Body ELECAM in the Littoral region have today met with traditional rulers and political actors in the Vuri division to fine-tune strategies for the successful holding of regional council elections. It was also an occasion to evaluate the conduct of the 2020 voter registration exercise. Katrin Kone.
Representatives of political parties have today, September 3, 2020, convened in a meeting with the regional delegation of Elections Cameroon for the Littoral region. The meeting, chaired by Professor Pierre Titinuel, had in agenda the General Collective Code of Decentralized Territories.
Aujourd'hui, nous avons eu le compte rendu des inscriptions données par le chef d'agence départementale pour le Vuri et le délégué régional pour la région du littoral.
Today we had an account of registration given by the head of the department for the Vuri division and the regional delegates for the littoral region. It has been a difficult year for registration, but after all, they have been able to register at least 2,000 persons.
Non, et puis, il y a eu une concertation sur le code général des collectivités décentralisées.
The meeting, which took place at the ELECAM office in Bonatone neighborhood, was marked by the presence of traditional leaders. To the members of the Electoral Council of Election Cameroon, the representative of the political parties wanted to recognize the place of traditional authorities in regional elections.
Je pense que les chefs traditionnels vont seulement les enrôler dans les problèmes nationaux, les problèmes du développement, le problème de la gouvernance, le problème de la démocratie.
The traditional rulers are involved at the national level, development issues, governing problems and equally democracy problems. They are not supposed to be limited only to culture, as we all know.
Parce que ma personnalité est faite aussi bien de ce qui vient de mes ancêtres que de ce que j'ai pu acquérir dans les livres, dans les écoles et tout. Le chef national doit être au courant de tout ça.
However, it was revealed that the outbreak of the coronavirus has affected the registration process in the littoral region. The political parties' representative equally raised the issue of the place and role of the administration after the establishment of regional councils.
Members of the follow-up committee for the evaluation of recommendations of the major national dialogue have examined the actions taken so far by the government to restore peace to the northwest and southwest regions of the country. The first evaluation meeting, which held in Yaoundé today, was chaired by the Prime Minister, Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph Diongote. The Head of Government has emphasized that the state will spare no effort in ensuring that peace returns to the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Our focus is on back to school, the resumption of economic activities, and the return of refugees and internally displaced persons. The members are meeting 6 months after the creation of the follow-up committee by the head of state. It should be noted that the major national dialogue held from the 30th of September to the 5th of October, to the 5th of October, that was 2019. Schools in the economic capital Douala are making preparations to ensure the smooth admission of pupils and students. Our reporter Crystal Asexuele taught some schools in the economic capital Douala and sought to know the conduct of the registration process so far. Her report.
The wind of the resumption of classes is already blowing in the school in the Douala 1 municipality. Barely a few weeks before the start of the 2020-2021 school year, scheduled for October 5, 2020, it is visible that at the Misipo Moniberna Nursery and Primary School, renovation works are ongoing to meet up with the actual context of the COVID-19 pandemic in which the school year will be carried out.
Actually, we are 1 month left for school resumption, and the first priority is to review what was not done last year, considering the coronavirus that is really affecting the world today. So that is why we have to renovate with all kinds of materials that are necessary in order to be up to date. So
giving a facelift to the school structure and ensuring that the standards meet up with the COVID-19 barrier measures prescribed by the government is the preoccupation of the principal of the school and her team.
Renovate all our structures, all of the things that we have to put together in order to fight the coronavirus. So that is what we are working on now, that you just caught us at work.
This notwithstanding, registrations for the forthcoming school year are actually ongoing in this private nursery and primary school.
The Ministry of External Relations of Cameroon, in collaboration with the Indian government, are making moves to ensure the safe repatriation of 78 Cameroonians who were stranded in India as a result of a COVID-19 lockdown. The compatriots are expected in the country on Wednesday, the 9th of September 2020. They are expected to gather in Mumbai for the travel arrangements, as Ladonet One reports.
After numerous distress appeals from the Cameroon community in India and other well-wishers to the Cameroon government, a day has been fixed for the repatriation of the compatriots stuck in the South Asian country due to the outbreak of the COVID-19.
Les Camerounais actuellement bloqués en Inde sont sur le point de revenir.
The Cameroonians stuck in India are getting ready to return home. We think that in the upcoming days, as from 9th of September, a plane has been programmed to bring those still in India. Their return will be planned by the government of Cameroon and India's government. The Ministry of External Relations and the Cameroon government have made provisions for their return. They'll be taken on Wednesday, 9th of September from Mumbai and will reach Cameroon on the same day in the evening.
Mercredi à 19h à Simalène.
With over 50 already in the country, the repatriation process will go as follows.
Il reste actuellement 77 Camerounais en Inde ou 78.
We have about 77 Cameroonians or 78 who are still stuck in India, and we will be coming back in the upcoming days. From tomorrow, they will take a train at New Delhi. That's about 15 to 20 hours journey. They are forced to take a train because they can't afford a flight. They have their drugs. They have stayed for over 6 months in India. Unfortunately, more than 7 lives have been lost. However, their dead bodies have been brought back to home soil.
An association of women in business known as the Ladies Business Forum is observing its 10th anniversary today at the Chamber of Commerce, where commemorative activities have taken place. The women have pledged to promote female entrepreneurship. Details with Katrin Kone.
It was in an atmosphere of festivity that the 10th anniversary of Ladies Business Forum took place today, September 3, 2020, at the Chambers of Commerce here in the city of Douala. The colorful ceremony saw women who have stood the test of time distinguish themselves among their peers into becoming successful business women.
For 10 years, we have done enough for Cameroon. What you just see today is just part of an example, because now we know that in Cameroon we have many girls, young girls who have a project. They don't know who to support, they don't know who can help. We are there to help them, to bring their project, the small project up, and make them to grow and be big entrepreneurs.
For 10 years of existence, members of Ladies Business Forum are proud to have groomed young girls positively.
Here is an special invitation by Lady Business Forum. I'm very happy to be here because I know that Lady Business Forum will permit me to look forward and achieve my objective in my life. Other ladies to wake up and follow us in the room trade and follow us in Ladies in Business. Together we can transform positively our country by made of Cameroon.
Women in Cameroon have been known to be good business managers, given that they master the art of business. Ladies Business Forum is just one amongst many associations that have deemed it necessary to train young girls in becoming successful entrepreneurs.
And as part of the entrepreneurship program, roadside restaurants continue to sprout in leaps and bounds in the economic capital, Douala. But with the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, attention is being paid to the quality of food served. Ladunette Oni in the following report took interest on how these restaurants pay attention to hygiene in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Her report.
Douala may have streets lined with classy restaurants, but it's also home to roadside joints, providing cheap and affordable food to a large section of its population. With the prevalence of diseases like cholera and the COVID-19, visitors to these makeshift restaurants are very keen on hygiene.
Oui, mais quand j'arrive d'abord, les servants doivent avoir les masques.
When I get there, the waitresses must have a face mask before serving us.
Les masques avant de nous faire le bon repas.
I'm talking as a customer. At roadside food joints, it's cleanliness. Because at a time like this, when the environment is clean, it's okay.
Nous ne portons pas de masques, mais on sait qu'il y a le Covid dans le monde entier.
Particulièrement, c'est la propriété dans le restaurant, l'emplacement.
Cleanliness is essential, followed by the quality of food. We love good things, and if it is well cooked, we will visit often.
C'est ça pour moi dans un sens que la propriété, la présentation et le reste va suivre.
To vendors, ensuring the safety of their customers is of utmost priority.
We have a good meal. We have everything named in the board there. We cook it every day. And we have customers who like the food, traditional food, like ero, achu, ekwang, watafufu, gari, okra, everything. Yeah, so cook it, we are very clean. We have everything here neat, water to wash the food. When we bought the food in the market, we buy ero, you put inside the pocket, you wash it, so that because there is sun, there is small insect that they can handle, you wash it well. Before you put it inside, you wash your pot, you put it inside the pot. After that, you put it on the fire. Vegetable, the same thing, wash it. Everything here, we wash it before we put it on the pot. When we finish cooking, we start to serve the customers clean. We serve the customers.
This food chain is common in Douala due to the affordability of food.
Out of the country, Tanzania is heading into October's presidential elections after 5 years under the current leader, John Magufuli. Magufuli has put in place several measures and initiated projects as well as fought against corruption in the country, but critics are accusing him of cracking down on political opponents and journalists. More with the VOA.
Like 16% of rural Tanzanians, 87-year-old Zaina Mohammed has lived without power for 30 years. But she hopes the Rufiji hydropower project will change that by making electricity cheap enough for her to afford.
When the electricity project is completed, I will not have to use a kerosene lamp anymore. Things will be better, as I'll have electricity.
One of President John Magufuli's mega projects, the dam is expected to be finished in 2022 and provide 2,100 megawatts of electricity, tripling Tanzania's hydropower.
We believe that when completed, many citizens will stop using firewood and charcoal. Instead, they'll be using electricity that will be available at a cheap price.
But the construction is taking place in the Selous Game Reserve, a wildlife protection area the size of Switzerland. Conservationists say, as with most of Magufuli's mega projects, the hydropower will come at a cost.
The ecosystem of the Selous Game Reserve is specifically for the wildlife. So the introduction of the hydroelectricity plant at the Selous Game Reserve tend to some species which were supposed to be, or which used to be available in that area, are going to be lost.
The president's supporters note his projects, such as the Standard Gauge Railway to link neighboring Rwanda and Uganda, will help boost the economy. Magufuli earned the nickname the bulldozer for his road projects and later for his actions to reduce spending and corruption. But critics say he's also intolerant of opponents and cracking down on a free press.
Nilipitia I have experienced being questioned many times by authorities, arrested, held by police, and also taken to prison. I have been charged with various things since 2016. I have been taken to court more than 148 times.
Tanzania's opposition party for democracy and progress, Chadema, chose Tundu Lissu, who returned from self-imposed exile in July, to challenge Magufuli in October's presidential election. An outspoken Magufuli critic, Lissu left the country in 2017 after unknown gunmen shot him 16 times.
During these 5 years, we have experienced against the Constitution, against the law, political parties prohibited to perform their activities. That is the first blow against democracy, because democracy includes people's freedom of expression, and to have many political parties, alternative parties, that can give out alternative ideas.
At the August launch of his re-election campaign, Magufuli touted transforming Tanzania from a low-income country to a middle-income one. While his critics see darkness washing over some freedoms, Magufuli's supporters look to economic development for a brighter future. Charles Kombe, for VOA News, Dar es Salaam.
In sports, Cameroonian NBA superstar Pascal Siakam and his Toronto Raptors team will be looking forward to avoid a third defeat in a row when they take on Boston Celtics today night. The game counts for the semi-finals of the Eastern Basketball Conference. More with John Paul Sama.
After Joel Embiid and his Philadelphia 76ers team failed to make it to the semi-finals of the Eastern Conference playoffs after losing to Boston Celtics, his fellow Cameroonian compatriot Pascal Siakam will be looking to avoid the same fate as they tackle the Celtics this Thursday for the third of a 7th round after having lost the last 2 in the series. The Cameroonian basketballer is expected to improve his 22.9 point average per game he has averaged so far against an opponent that seems to have mastered their art, beating them 102-99 and 112-94. The Cameroonian power forward 17 points in their last encounter clearly wasn't enough, but has another shot at redemption as the defending NBA champions look to repeat their fate of last year at the bubble. Pascal Siakam and his teammates will have to avoid a third straight defeat, as no team has ever come back from being 3 down. They beat Brooklyn Nets in scintillating fashion to make it to these semi-finals.
For the primetime newscast on STV, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned to more programs on STV. Have a good night.